Welcome, dear listener, to a quiet journey beneath the gentle surface of the ocean. As the day's light begins to fade, and the world outside softens into the hush of evening, allow your mind to drift peacefully, carried by the rhythm of this story. We embark tonight on an exploration of one of nature's most extraordinary creations, a creature that holds secrets of speed, sight, and surprising power within its small, colorful form. As you settle in, let any tension in your shoulders melt away. Allow your breath to deepen, and feel the gentle pull of sleep inviting you into its peaceful embrace. Our story tonight is about the mantis shrimp, often a creature of vibrant hues, dwelling in the warm, clear waters of our tropical and subtropical seas. These are not just any inhabitants of the ocean floor. They are masters of a secret realm of motion, a realm so swift it defies our ordinary perception. Imagine movements faster than the blink of an eye, swifter than anything the human eye can even register in its fleeting passage. These tiny yet immensely powerful crustaceans possess abilities that might seem almost fantastical, yet they are very real, a quiet testament to the endless ingenuity of life on Earth. For years, scientists and observers were simply captivated by the sheer, unbridled velocity of these creatures. Their striking appendages, which we will explore in a moment, can reach speeds of up to 31 meters per second. To put that into a gentle perspective, imagine the immense acceleration of something as powerful as a bullet leaving the barrel of a gun. The mantis shrimp achieves a comparable feat, not with a roar and a flash, but with a silent, almost invisible flick of an appendage, no larger than a small child's pinky finger. Where a human might require a heavy hammer and a strong, determined swing to break open a hard shell, the mantis shrimp accomplishes this with an elegant, almost effortless precision, relying on an inherent mastery of physics. Indeed, these remarkable creatures are so exceptional in their speed that they form a vital part of an entire category of the natural world, a category that has only been recognized and described quite recently, the ultra-fast. When we think of speed in nature, our minds might first conjure images of a cheetah streaking across the savannah, or perhaps the swift flight of a bird. Yet, on the scale of the ultra-fast, these magnificent creatures, as impressive as they are, barely register. This unique echelon of speed is populated instead by beings that operate on a different plane entirely, such as the trapjaw ants, whose mandibles snap shut with incredible force, or the microscopic fungal spores, launched into the air with ballistic precision. It includes the specialized jaws of certain termites, and even the surprising stinging mechanisms of some jellyfish. The mantis shrimp, with its unassuming appearance, stands proudly among these elite few, a quiet giant of the minuscule world. Fishermen who work in the shallow, sun-warmed reefs, going about their daily routines, have sometimes shared stories of the unexpected power these seemingly small creatures possess. A careless hand or foot, perhaps brushed against a coral crevice where a mantis shrimp might be dwelling, can sometimes encounter a surprising jolt. While these interactions are rare and unintentional, they serve as a gentle reminder of the mantis shrimp's inherent strength. For those who curate the delicate ecosystems of aquariums, there's a special kind of respect that must be afforded to these powerful little friends. It has been known, though thankfully not a common occurrence, for a determined mantis shrimp to, on occasion, punch through even extremely thick aquarium glass. They are, without question, among the most formidable carnivores of the ocean, a true force to be reckoned with in their underwater domain. And yet, there is a curious paradox within their hunting habits. The fastest species among them, those capable of the most astonishing bursts of speed, often choose to prey almost exclusively on the slowest creatures of the sea, like the placid snails and the unmoving oysters. Conversely, some of the slower mantis shrimp species are known to bravely tackle much faster prey, creatures 2 or 3 times their own size. from scuttling crabs to even the elusive intelligent octopuses. It is a subtle dance of predator and prey, where strategy and specialized adaptation often take precedence over mere speed. But the mantis shrimp's astonishing capabilities extend far beyond their incredible speed and strength. Their eyes, dear listener, are arguably the most complex and wondrous visual organs in the entire animal kingdom. While our human eyes, with our 3 types of photoreceptor cells, allow us to perceive a rich and vibrant world of color, the mantis shrimp possesses an astounding array between 12 and 16 types of photoreceptors. This gives them an almost alien perception, allowing them to see wavelengths of light that are completely invisible to us, including ultraviolet light and even specialized forms of light known as polarized light. Their visual system is so profoundly advanced that in a feat of biological engineering, their retina actually begins to process visual information before it even reaches the brain, streamlining their perception in a way that is utterly astonishing. Scientists, with quiet curiosity, are even beginning to explore whether the unique properties of mantis shrimp eyes might one day help us to detect certain changes in human tissue, such as cancerous cells, before they have a chance to spread. It is a thought that reminds us of the profound lessons nature continually offers, if only we take the time to observe and learn. As we continue to drift deeper into the mantis shrimp's world, we might quietly ask ourselves, what is it about these small, vibrant creatures that grants them such astonishing speed, such quiet ferocity, and such extreme adaptations? How do these obscure crustaceans, living their lives beneath the waves, harness the very laws of physics in ways that we, with all our technological prowess, have yet to fully replicate? Let us gently explore the answers to these fascinating questions, allowing the intricate details of their existence to lull you into a state of deep and tranquil rest. The mantis shrimp, as we've noted, are typically small, their bodies often a mere 10 centimeters, or about 4 inches, in length. The largest among them, the truly magnificent giants of their kind, might stretch to around 40 centimeters, or roughly 15 inches, which is still only a little longer than a foot. They are a study in contrasts, small in stature, yet monumental in their capabilities. Their lineage stretches back through the immense corridors of time, a journey of evolution that began around 400 million years ago, when the order Stomatopoda, to which all mantis shrimp belong, quietly diverged from other crustaceans. Over the next 200 million years, a vast span of geological time, the shrimp-like ancestors of our modern mantis shrimp underwent a profound transformation. Some of their mouthparts, through the slow and steady hand of evolution, gradually morphed into the specialized raptorial claws we see today, granting them the predatory appearance reminiscent of the terrestrial praying mantises, from which they eventually borrowed their familiar name. These early forms, and indeed many species today, came to be classified as spearers. Their deadly spined claws dictate not only their hunting strategies, but also the very rhythm of their lives. Consider, for example, one of the ocean's gentle giants among the mantis shrimp, the zebra mantis shrimp. This magnificent creature can grow to that impressive 40-centimeter size, making it one of the largest of its kind. It is a master of camouflage and patience, adopting the strategy of an ambush predator. Its home is a carefully constructed sandy burrow on the shallow seafloor, a hidden sanctuary from which it waits, often with only its remarkable eyes peering out, scanning the watery world for prey. For the unsuspecting fish swimming above, the zebra mantis shrimp is virtually invisible, perfectly blended into the sandy expanse. By the time it launches its strike, it is almost always too late for escape. The spears, in a burst of quiet power, shoot out at a speed of approximately 2.3 meters per second, impaling the fish on the 10 sharp, barbed spines that jut out from its specialized claws. In one careful scientific experiment, researchers observed that the vast majority of these lightning-fast strikes by the zebra mantis shrimp were successful in capturing their prey. Yet, if you have ever tried to catch a nimble fly with your bare hand, you can perhaps begin to imagine the subtle challenges involved in not just snapping up such quick-moving prey, but also in holding onto it as it struggles. How then do these remarkable creatures achieve such a firm grasp? The answer lies, in part, in the exquisite design of the raptorial claw itself. It is not merely a weapon of speed, but also a marvel of engineering, crafted to be both incredibly strong and surprisingly flexible. This duality is essential, as it needs to slice through the soft flesh of its prey and then maintain an unyielding hold as the fish attempts its desperate escape. To accomplish this, the spear possesses several delicate, yet robust, spikes. These are not straight, rigid needles, but rather subtly hooked, hollow beams, each constructed from several intricate layers. On the exterior there is a thin, hard and mineralized epicuticle, its surface decorated with fine serrations and minute grooves, all designed to securely lock onto its struggling prey. Beneath this outer layer, on the inside, lies a less mineralized region, composed of fibrous layers of chitin and protein. This inner structure provides the essential flexibility, allowing the spear to yield slightly without breaking, much like a perfectly crafted spring. Unlike, for instance, the straight, rigid stinger of a bee or the slender, direct proboscis of a mosquito, both designed for maximum penetration, the mantis shrimp's spearing claw exhibits a gentle, intentional curve. This elegant curvature is not an accident. It is a crucial design element that helps the shrimp maintain a firm hold on its captured meal, preventing the prey from slipping away during the powerful retraction back into the burrow. To understand more deeply the fascinating ecology of these creatures, scientists, such as Dr. Maya de Vries, have dedicated years to studying mantis shrimp, both in the controlled environments of the lab and in their natural habitats in the field. When they need to gently capture these animals for study, they often take advantage of their natural predatory instincts. They might place a tantalizing lure, perhaps a piece of squid or a small fish, near the entrance of a mantis shrimp's burrow. With patience, the mantis shrimp is enticed to emerge. Then, with careful precision, a small noose, designed not to harm the creature, is slipped around the burrow's opening as the shrimp ventures forth, allowing the researchers to safely retrieve it for observation and study. We couldn't help but wonder, with a touch of quiet curiosity, if Dr. de Vries had ever experienced the direct, surprising impact of being speared herself. Her answer, thankfully, was a reassuring never a spearing, never a spearing. That sounds scary. A comforting thought indeed, as we imagine the delicate balance of respect and caution that comes with studying such powerful yet fascinating inhabitants of the ocean. The next element in the spear's remarkable strike lies in how it achieves such breathtaking speeds. It is a delicate ballet of muscle and mechanism. First, the flexor and extensor muscles within the mantis shrimp's maris, a segment of its appendage, engage in a precise sequence. The extensor muscles work to compress the claw, drawing it back, while the flexor muscles expertly trigger a tiny, intricate latch, locking the claw into a state of immense potential energy, much like a spring held taut. Then, in the moment of release, the flexor muscle subtly relaxes, the latch slips open with an almost imperceptible click, and the claw springs forward, striking out at incredibly high velocities. Simultaneously, the mantis shrimp, with a fluid, coordinated movement, lunges out from its burrow, its prey now securely trapped in its formidable claws. With its meal safely impaled, It then gracefully retreats back into the sanctuary of the sand, ready to feast in peace within its hidden home. Because these spearing mantis shrimp make their homes in the soft shifting sands of the seafloor, it is relatively easy for them to move from one location to another, should the need arise. This adaptability means they tend not to be overtly aggressive when it comes to defending their burrows. For them, the risk of injury in a prolonged fight simply isn't worth it, especially when a new, equally suitable burrow can be dug with relative ease elsewhere. It is a peaceful, pragmatic approach to home ownership in the underwater world. However, this tranquil demeanor is absolutely not the case when we turn our attention to the other remarkable type of mantis shrimp, those with truly incredible smashing claws. Somewhere along the vast, meandering path of their evolutionary journey, a small subset of mantis shrimp, perhaps faced with different environmental pressures or a new abundance of armored prey, quietly transformed. Instead of developing the terrifying barbed spines characteristic of their spearing relatives, these shrimp evolved powerful clubs. At first glance, these clubs might appear much less formidable, perhaps even somewhat unassuming. But as we often discover in nature, looks can be profoundly deceiving. For it is these very clubs that achieve some of the most astonishing speeds and forces known in the entire natural world. Where our friend the zebra mantis shrimp can extend its spear at a brisk 2.3 meters per second, the smashing mantis shrimp, such as the purple spot mantis shrimp, propels its club forward at an astounding 31 meters per second. This is a speed that generates an acceleration of well over 100,000 meters per second squared, an acceleration so profound that it surpasses that of a .22 caliber bullet fired from a pistol. The force unleashed by these clubs upon impact can be staggering, estimated at around 1,500 newtons, or approximately 340 pounds of force. This is an impact force that is literally thousands of times greater than the mantis shrimp's own body weight, an almost unbelievable feat of biomechanical engineering. But when scientists first began their meticulous studies of the impact forces generated by these powerful punches, something truly peculiar began to appear on their force graphs. As expected, there was a distinct sharp spike indicating the initial impact of the punch. But then, to their surprise, a second equally distinct spike would appear a fraction of a second later. This mystery deepened when they reviewed the high-speed footage of these impacts. They observed something else utterly weird, a small, ephemeral bubble forming in the water, often accompanied by a fleeting flash of light. It was a profound realization. The mantis shrimp's club was not just striking the shell, it was bouncing back with such incredible velocity that it created a tiny area of extremely low pressure directly in the water. And when pressure drops so low in water, the water instantly vaporizes. It literally boils, forming a vapor bubble. This remarkable phenomenon is known as a cavitation bubble. But this cavitation bubble is not a stable entity. It is fleeting, born of extreme forces. The immense pressure exerted by the surrounding water, rushing in to fill the momentary vacuum, forces the bubble to collapse inward upon itself with astonishing speed. And in that instantaneous collapse, a burst of concentrated energy is released. This energy manifests in several forms, as a sharp sound wave, as a localized pulse of heat, and most remarkably, as a tiny, almost invisible flash of light. This released energy is so potent that it can briefly heat the water in that minuscule space to temperatures that rival the surface of the sun. More importantly for the mantis shrimp, this powerful energy blast actually stuns its prey a second time, delivering a concussive shock wave that perfectly accounts for that mysterious second peak on the force graph. To truly comprehend this extraordinary phenomenon, we turn to the scientist who first observed and discovered it. She recalls the moment with a sense of quiet wonder. When we saw the cavitation bubbles for the first time, it really was like actually thrilling. And we knew that that was probably the first time anybody had seen it, because the technology just hadn't even been there. We were using the newest, latest, greatest cameras. It was a true moment of scientific discovery, revealing a secret of nature previously hidden. When asked if the mantis shrimp actively produces that cavitation bubble, or if it's merely a fortunate side effect, Dr. Patek, with the careful consideration of a seasoned scientist, admits, "My careful scientist answer would be, I don't know." However, she quickly adds, "Just as an observer, I would say that they did evolve to cavitate, because it's so robust, like it's just no matter what they hit, it cavitates. They don't cavitate at the wrong time, they cavitate at the right time." Some of the data we have show that you'll have like 4 peaks in a row that are evenly spaced, so to me that looks to me like something that has actually evolved. She contrasts this with other animals that might cavitate, such as a tiny shrimp that shoots a water jet, but only if the jet happens to hit something in its path, suggesting a more accidental occurrence. The mantis shrimp's consistent deliberate cavitation, however, points to an evolved design, a testament to nature's profound ability to fine-tune its creations. Given how profoundly different the attack mechanism is for these smashing shrimp compared to their spearing relatives, it follows naturally that their preferred prey is also very different. Smashers tend to eat creatures encased in hardened exoskeletons, such as the familiar oysters and the slowly moving snails. For such prey, extreme force is not just helpful, it is absolutely necessary for cracking them open and accessing the soft meal within. And in this context, the cavitation bubbles are undeniably the shrimp, you see, is not just relying on its muscles alone. It is winding up, literally spring-loading its claw to an extraordinary degree. The spring in question is a remarkable saddle-shaped structure, primarily composed of chitin, which sits elegantly on top of the claw. In that fleeting moment just before the strike, the shrimp's powerful muscles compress this saddle-shaped spring, holding it back with a sophisticated latching mechanism. It is a moment of immense potential energy being quietly stored, a coiled spring ready to burst forth. Then, when the precise moment arrives to strike, this stored potential energy is released with explosive force, and the club swings forward with astonishing velocity. This ingenious saddle spring mechanism allows the club to be released at a truly enormous speed, a velocity far exceeding what any muscle could ever produce by itself, no matter how powerful. Even the spearing mantis shrimp possesses a saddle-like structure, but in their case, it is much less developed and far less effective in generating such extreme velocities. The easiest way for us to gently understand this principle is by drawing a simple comparison. Imagine the difference between merely throwing an arrow with your arm muscles versus launching that same arrow with a bow. Just throwing an arrow using only the strength of your arm will likely not make it go very far, nor very fast. But now, imagine using those very same arm muscles to flex and draw back the string of a bow, storing energy in its taut limbs, and then releasing the arrow with your fingers. Suddenly, that arrow flies much farther, and with far greater speed. Yet, the initial energy input from your arm muscles is essentially the same in both scenarios. The only difference is the time over which that energy is released. With the bow, the energy is concentrated and released in a much shorter, more intense burst. So, in other words, the mantis shrimp actually uses a relatively small amount of energy to activate this spring, but the intensity of the release, the concentration of that energy over an extremely brief period, is phenomenally high. As Dr. Patek explains, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you know, they're very powerful animals, and they use so much energy." But actually, they just really don't. They use very little energy, and they release it over short periods of time, which is very explosive. It's a marvel of efficiency and elegant design. The design of the smashing mantis shrimp's raptorial club is also quite distinct from that of its spearing relatives, a testament to the differing demands placed upon it, because this club must withstand such immense forces, repeatedly, without suffering damage. Its exterior is covered by a specialized crack-resistant coating, much like the meticulously applied tape that boxers use to bind and protect their hands. Beneath that resilient coating are two distinct regions, each composed of fibers aligned in different strategic directions. One area of these fibers is expertly designed to dissipate any cracks that might try to form, effectively absorbing and spreading the stress. The other area of fibers works tirelessly to prevent the club from expanding too much on impact, maintaining its structural integrity. All of this intricate engineering means that the mantis shrimp can batter away time and time again on the unyielding surface of a clamshell, or even the formidable wall of a glass aquarium, without causing any significant damage to its own precious claw. Furthermore, we know through careful observation and study that the mantis shrimp possesses an incredibly keen sense of the three-dimensional structure and mechanical properties of the shells it is striking. They don't just hit aimlessly. In fact, they will repeatedly strike the shells at the most structurally efficient locations, precisely where the shell is weakest, or where impact will yield the greatest damage. As researchers have noted, you give them a high-spired shell, or a globular shell, and they'll hit them differently, and we've seen from our physical models of mantis shrimp that sequence that they're using is actually the most efficient to break those geometries. It is a testament to their innate intelligence and their sophisticated understanding of mechanics, a silent, intuitive mastery that guides every powerful blow. Because smashing mantis shrimp primarily hunt prey that live securely attached to rocks and coral, their own habitats are consequently very different from those of their sandy-dwelling spearing cousins. They prefer the more rugged, stable environments of rocky reefs and coral formations, and it turns out their powerful clubs come in handy for far more than just hunting. Having that superpower appendage to effortlessly break open snail shells means that a rich source of food is readily available to them. But it also means they can utilize this unique tool for a whole host of other activities. They might, for example, use their clubs to deftly knock out a crab, securing a meal, and perhaps most charmingly, some species of smashing mantis shrimp even use their hammers to build their homes. They will create intricate burrows by carefully, methodically banging out little sections inside the coral, carving out a perfect custom-fit house within the protective embrace of the reef. This, of course, provides them with a wonderfully protected and secure home, a sanctuary from predators and the strong currents of the ocean. However, living in these hard, rocky substrates means that prime real estate, a suitable burrow, is a much rarer and more valuable commodity than in the shifting sands. A burrow needs to be precisely the right size, large enough for the mantis shrimp to comfortably fit inside, but small enough that it can effectively block the entrance with its hardened telson, or tail, securing its privacy and safety. This scarcity of ideal homes means that these mantis shrimp quite regularly find themselves engaged in territorial disputes and fierce fights over burrows. These skirmishes can become remarkably aggressive, with sparring strikes designed to assert dominance. One group of researchers even found that these sparring strikes, used against rivals, actually pack more energy into them than the strikes the shrimp uses for predation, highlighting the intensity of their territorial defense. Naturally, this led us to ask Dr. Patek the same quiet question we had posed to Dr. De Vries. Are there ever any occupational hazards when handling these powerful creatures? Are a researcher's fingers ever truly in danger? She confirms, with a knowing smile. Yeah, no. I mean, you do have to be careful. However, she quickly clarifies, the bigger problem is that they have a spike at the end of their appendage, and if that goes in your skin, It's really unpleasant. She draws a gentle analogy. But if you have a cat, like with claws, you just gotta learn how to work with the cat. Right? It's the same idea. It's about understanding the animal and respecting its natural defenses. She adds, reassuringly, so it's pretty rare that anybody has a problem. There are like kind of crazy stories out there about people who lost a finger because of a mantis shrimp. But usually it's because, they were like diving and they stuck their hand down the hole and then the thing hit them and then they didn't move. And so then the animal speared them and then they get all the bacteria in their finger. Like these are like this honestly never happened to us. And it never will. Like these are just really weird stories that end up on the internet. She emphasizes that for the most part, even the spearers don't actively want to spear a human, primarily because if their delicate appendage gets stuck in skin, they risk losing it, which is a severe disadvantage for them. More typically, she explains, they might just hit you with the blunt force of their hammer-like base, or with the less harmful broadside of a spearing appendage. That doesn't hurt that much, she assures. I've been hit a bajillion times, including in the field. It is a gentle reminder that while powerful, these creatures are generally more interested in defending themselves or their homes than in intentionally causing harm. At the end of the day, it is a truly dangerous existence to be a mantis shrimp in the vast competitive ocean. Luckily, nature has provided them with an incredible suit of armor across their bodies, and especially over their telson or tail. This armor is not merely a smooth, hard surface. It is fortified with raised protuberances, meticulously designed to protect them from fracturing, even when they absorb the most heavy and concussive blows from rivals. It is a testament to their resilience, a quiet strength woven into their very being. It is abundantly clear, then, that the different types of raptorial claws, whether spearing or smashing, play an immense role in shaping every aspect of the mantis shrimp's life, from how they hunt to where they live, and how they interact with their world. But it is not only their formidable claws that dictate so much of their behavior and experience, it is also their truly extraordinary eyes. Mantis shrimp are often described, with good reason, as possessing the most complex eyes of any creature in the entire animal kingdom. Indeed, these eyes might be the part of their body that makes them look the most alien, the most otherworldly, as if they perceive a reality entirely different from our own. And these incredible eyes are absolutely crucial in helping them to be such remarkably effective predators. As Dr. Patek marvels, they do have this amazing predatory vision because they have two eyes that move independently, and each eye has trinocular vision. We binocular vision, they have trinocular vision. I honestly can't even conceptualize what that looks like, but so together they have hexnocular vision. So they are able to take in an incredible amount of information, and that very likely improves the success of their ability to target things. Imagine, if you will, the implications of having not one but two eyes, each capable of moving independently, scanning the environment in different directions simultaneously, and within each of those eyes, the gift of trinocular vision, granting them depth perception from just a single eyeball. This is an incredibly useful adaptation, especially for a creature that regularly engages in intense fights with rivals or encounters other predators, and might, in the unfortunate course of battle, end up losing an eye. Even with one eye, they can still accurately perceive depth, maintaining their ability to hunt and navigate effectively. When both eyes are working in concert, they achieve what scientists call hexnocular vision, an astonishing capacity to take in and process an almost unimaginable amount of visual information, allowing them to pinpoint their targets with unparalleled precision and success. The mantis shrimp's eye is an intricate masterpiece, divided into three distinct regions, each with its own pseudo-pupils, that can scan different parts of the environment. But the part that most deeply fascinates researchers, drawing their quiet curiosity, is the central mid-band. This mid-band is a marvel of biological engineering, containing 6 rows of thousands upon thousands of tiny ommatidia, the individual photoreceptor cells. These specialized cells are meticulously designed to detect specific wavelengths of light, including the invisible realm of ultraviolet light. In total, as we gently noted earlier, the mantis shrimp possesses an astonishing 12 to 16 different kinds of photoreceptors in their eyes. To place this into a comforting context, we humans, with our rich perception of color, have just 3 types. Our loyal canine companions have only 2, while birds, known for their keen eyesight, have 4, allowing some of them to perceive ultraviolet light, a spectrum entirely outside our human visible range. And yet, despite this incredible visual arsenal, scientists have made a rather surprising discovery. Mantis shrimp are not actually all that skilled at discriminating between subtle shades of color. In one fascinating experiment, researchers patiently trained 10 mantis shrimp to recognize 10 different color wavelengths, spanning a range from 400 to 650 nanometers. They accomplished this by gently presenting the mantis shrimp with 2 colors and rewarding them with a frozen prawn when they correctly identified the chosen wavelength. After the mantis shrimp were adequately trained, the scientists then presented them with even more colors. They found that while the shrimp could reliably distinguish between the chosen wavelength and another color, this was only true as long as the difference between the wavelengths was quite significant, between 50 to 100 nanometers apart. If the difference between wavelengths was a more subtle 12 to 25 nanometers, they simply couldn't tell them apart. And here's where the gentle irony lies. We humans, with our mere 3 photoreceptor types, can differentiate millions of colors and have very little trouble seeing the distinction between wavelengths that are only 5 nanometers apart. As Dr. de Vries muses, although they can see this incredibly wide spectrum of light and wavelengths, they don't see color obviously the way we do. They can't actually distinguish between different tones of colors, for example, like blue, dark blue, a yellow, that kind of thing. So we might actually see a wider range of color in that way. The researchers hypothesized that perhaps each of the mantis shrimp's many photoreceptors is designed to pick up a specific color, identifying it in a way that is less about fine discrimination than about rapid recognition. This specialized system would require less brain power to process, allowing them to quickly determine if something is a predator, a potential mate, or a tasty morsel of prey. Their visual processing might work more like our processing of sound, which is a little more stepwise, a series of distinct on or off signals, whereas our human vision tends to be a continuous flowing spectrum. It's a system built for speed and efficiency, perfectly tailored to their unique needs. These remarkable photoreceptors also grant the mantis shrimp another truly special skill among animals: the ability to detect polarized light. To gently understand this, let's first consider how light typically moves. Normally, the wavelengths of light vibrate in every conceivable direction along vertical, horizontal, and diagonal axes. It's a random, chaotic dance of waves, and this is what constitutes most of the light we humans see. Polarized light, however, is different. It occurs when the wavelengths of light vibrate primarily in only a single specific direction, perhaps solely on the vertical plane or exclusively on the horizontal plane. Polarization can happen naturally through reflection off surfaces like water, or through refraction as light passes through different mediums, both common occurrences in the ocean. It can also be artificially induced, for example, by passing light through a filter, much like what happens in polarized sunglasses. This is not something humans can naturally perceive. We simply don't have the biological tools. Yet, other creatures, like the intelligent octopus, the graceful squid, various crabs, and the mesmerizing cuttlefish, can see some types of polarized light. But the mantis shrimp, dear listener, takes this ability to an entirely new level. It can perceive no less than 6 distinct types of polarization: horizontal, vertical, 2 diagonal orientations, and most remarkably, 2 types of circular polarization. Circular polarization occurs when the light waves spiral either clockwise or counterclockwise. The mantis shrimp is, to our current knowledge, the only animal on Earth known to be able to see circularly polarized light. This extraordinary ability is thought to serve multiple vital functions. Researchers believe it not only helps them to efficiently scan their surroundings for camouflaged prey, making the unseen visible, but also plays a crucial role in communication. They have discovered that certain species of mantis shrimp possess specific body parts that display intricate circular polarization patterns. These subtle shimmering signals, visible only to other mantis shrimp, could be used in territorial disputes, asserting dominance without a single blow, or in the delicate complex rituals of mating, a secret language of light hidden beneath the waves. And in a final flourish of evolutionary brilliance, the mantis shrimp is able to process much of this vast influx of visual stimuli before it even reaches the part of their brain that functions as a visual cortex. This astonishing feat is thanks to a specialized structure known as the reniform body. This kidney-shaped organ is nestled within the eye stalks of the mantis shrimp, connecting directly to their brain. It appears to act as a kind of superprocessor, helping them to quickly analyze and interpret color and other complex visual information, and then efficiently transmit that distilled data to the brain, ensuring that all the information can be managed and acted upon as swiftly as humanly possible. It is a testament to the mantis shrimp's profound optimization, a creature perfectly designed for its vibrant, challenging world. The incredible adaptations of the mantis shrimp, these small yet mighty crustaceans, have not merely astonished zoologists and anatomists. Their unique qualities have also quietly spurred us as humans towards new innovations across a surprising variety of fields. Materials scientists, for instance, are particularly interested in the remarkable properties of mantis shrimp claws, studying their intricate layers and fiber alignments to help in developing new, strong yet flexible compounds for human use. Imagine materials that can withstand immense forces and yet remain resilient and resistant to cracking, inspired by a tiny creature's appendage. In the realm of robotics, engineers have successfully built a delicate robot weighing a mere 1.5 grams that meticulously mimicked the smashing mechanism of a mantis shrimp. This tiny robot was able to punch faster than any similar device of its size, though as a humble reminder of nature's unparalleled mastery, it still could not quite match the astonishing speed of the mantis shrimp itself. It is a testament to the enduring genius of biological design. Researchers working in the field of optics have drawn profound inspiration from the mantis shrimp's uniquely complex eyes. They have modeled different types of cameras after these incredible visual organs, creating polarized cameras that can function effectively underwater, opening up new ways to perceive the hidden structures of the ocean. And most remarkably, they are exploring the possibility of developing cameras that might one day aid in the early detection of cancerous cells, potentially identifying these subtle changes before they have a chance to spread throughout the body. The research, dear listener, is still ongoing, with countless more discoveries patiently waiting to be made. In just the past few years, for example, researchers quietly uncovered that mantis shrimp possess twice as many light-detecting proteins in their eyes as we had ever expected. We do not yet fully understand why this is the case, but it offers another tantalizing direction to explore, another layer of mystery in the incredible tapestry of life. The ocean, vast and mysterious, remains full of incredible diversity and endless discoveries, patiently waiting for our quiet curiosity. The story of the mantis shrimp is but one small, vibrant thread in this grand